you. Don't think so, really. Let's talk to the man who first revealed this. He is royal journalist and author Robert Jobson. Hi, Rob. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, mate. How are you, Kev?
I'm good. Well, this is extraordinary. I mean, you've written about this before, but the Epstein files with the release of this picture of shone an even harsher light on the situation. This was Sandringham. This was his mother's favourite country retreat here in England, and he staged a party there for Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, clearly a bevy of beauties, as they say in the press. There he is, draped across them, okay, fully clothed. But royal aides went on, as you revealed, to discover sex aids, popper drugs, sex stimulant drugs all over the loos, apparently lubrications, sex toys. I mean, you know, we thought this guy had sunk low, but it seems there's no depths below which he will not sink. I think this is shocking that he did this.
I mean, Kevin, it's even more organised and worse than that. I mean, he effectively turned Sandringham, as you say, a sacrosanct place for the Queen, where she used to go to remember the death of her father. She had Christmases there. You know, we always used to see those pictures, didn't we, with the Queen going to Christmas at Sandringham as well, see for the royals this Christmas. But the actuals, she turned the place into a sort of a Playboy mansion, really, and they were giving out these things in. They weren't just distributed; they were actually given to the guests in their rooms in little baskets, like party bags. So this was an intention. This was before, so when they arrived as guests, they had all of these things in the bathroom. You know, when the Queen or say Charles had a shooting party, you'd have you'd have things like bath gel, you know, soaps and bath things in the little baskets. He'd have transformed it so you've got poppers and all these things available for his guests. So there was no doubt what he was organising. It wasn't, as he said to Emily Maitlis in that dreadful and catastrophic interview, a straightforward shooting party. I mean, I don't know what straightforward he was talking about, but I mean, he was loaned the place by the Queen, you know, to have this party or this shooting party, and this is what he did with it. You know, I mean, it does show you, and I think the staff were pretty shocked when they had to clear up all this mess, because it was just outrageous, really. What was he thinking? You know, that he could do this. I mean, you know, do this in the Queen's residence.
Richard Kay's got a piece in the Mail today, probably accurately, saying that although Andrew's fall from grace has cast a dark cloud over the royal family generally, these new revelations, I mean, you've written about them before, but the revelation or the release of this picture of Andrew shining a light on what the hell he got up to at Sandringham will make Christmas celebrations for the royal family up there at Sandringham, from which, of course, he's banned, even more kind of reduced than they were going to be, that the royal family are reeling by what this guy got up to. As I say, you know, we were used to him having a terrible story to tell, or us learning of his terrible story, but each day we seem to learn something that's even worse. I mean, this guy got no standards whatsoever.
With Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew. But even though he's been stripped of his titles, thrown out of his grace and favour mansion and publicly shamed, that may not be the end of disgrace for the late Queen's favourite son. With some, Andrew, who lost the last of his titles just the day before, took a bleak solo horse ride in the rain while a photographer looked on. According to allies, Andrew now spends his days playing video games and watching TV, feeling abandoned and embittered. That's according to his biographer.
Video talking about this, as well as giving instructions on how you yourself can get your hands on this latest dump of documents that wasn't supposed to go out yet, but had been accessible to people savvy enough to get their hands on it, and now it's been disseminated. And these are some documents here that I imagine they were probably going to do a little bit more to hide some names and hide certain elements of, because, hooey, boy howdy, I imagine Trump and a lot of the elites are doing this right now. Yeesh. There is some big stuff in here, and I'm not saying that sarcastically this time around. Yes, the vast majority is still like hundreds of pages of completely blacked out, redacted garbage, like it's completely useless. But some of them that they didn't get a chance to go through and just, you know, fucking vanish to the shadow realm has eye-opening stuff that directly contradicts a narrative that the government's been running with for a while.
Here's what you can see right now, that they've only released 7 data sets. And so myself, the guys at Jmail, and the guys at DropSite, we've been investigating this. I partnered with them to kind of look at some of these files, and they got access to volume 8 early. You would just type it in the URL. It wasn't like indexable on search, but you could just type in the specific URL and it would just come up. You could download the entire zip file, and that's what we did.
Before anyone tries to cry foul questioning the authenticity of these documents here, this is the actual volume 8. They just made it accessible by pure accident because everyone that seems to be working at the highest level is actually like a thumb-sucking fucking brain-dead moron.
Specifically, I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10 co-conspirators that are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff, because prior to this, remember that all we really had was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the only people who have ever faced any charges at all. Ghislaine Maxwell, the only one who actually faced consequences, right? But in 2019, apparently there were 10 co-conspirators. Now, the people who were sending this to and from have been blacked out, but at the bottom we see that this is the Violent Crime Section, Crimes Against Human Trafficking Unit.
That is huge information, especially when you consider clowns like Kash Patel saying that there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking victims to others or anything like that, making it seem like it was a solo operation and Ghislaine Maxwell, was second fiddle and that's it. And also Maxwell, worth remembering, isn't exactly facing the harshest of punishment. Not real justice there now that she's at a summer camp prison for a little bit, petting service animals. So, I want to also make a side note. Kash Patel needs to be in jail. Like, he literally needs to be arrested. I don't know why perjury isn't something that's taken seriously anymore. There is irrefutable evidence Kash Patel has lied on record about this case. It's crazy that he just gets to do that with pure immunity. But I won't start shitting and spitting about that too hard right now. The important thing about this piece that CompuZilla is highlighting is that we now have information that confirms that authorities were looking into other co-conspirators in this operation. Co-conspirators that clearly they must have dropped the leads at some point. They stopped sniffing around, said not worth pursuing. But at one point, they did have other co-conspirators and apparently quite a bit of information on them, as the documents seem to hint at. And
10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk, during an event at Utah Valley University, was shot on September 10th, 2025. From nearly 400 feet, or about 120 meters away, the gunman had been lying in wait. A single round tears through the air, hitting Kirk in the neck. The crowd erupts in panic. The shooter immediately ran across the roof as people scatter in fear. He leaps to the ground and disappears into the neighborhood. Officers rush to the stage. Kirk is pulled away and taken to a hospital. A massive manhunt begins. Heavily armed police search every corner. Nearby, officers recover a Mauser bolt-action rifle, hidden in the woods and wrapped in a towel. Meanwhile, the suspect flees nearly 250 miles south to his hometown of St. George, Utah, where his father confronts him after recognizing him in surveillance images. Tyler admits his role. 33 hours after the shooting, police surround the home. Tyler Robinson is arrested without resistance.
Video and some sound of now the late Charlie Kirk speaking to this crowd of students in Orem, Utah. And it wasn't just students, I should add. This event was open to anyone that wanted to come. And here's what he was saying just moments before that deadly shot rang out.
Transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
I do want to.
This is Joint Base Elmendorf Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. Vladimir Putin just now emerging from the plane there and coming down the stairs. Of course, we remember the summit between these two leaders during President Trump's first term in Helsinki. They met, and now they meet again right here.
Reporters certainly did their best to shout as much as they could to try and, get some questions to Vladimir Putin. I believe he was asked, will you agree to a ceasefire? Why can you trust Vladimir Putin? But no dice. They did not want to respond. They want to get down to business.
I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on. Most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite got there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. So just to put it very quickly, I'm going to start making a few phone calls and tell him what happened. But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant, but we have a very good chance of getting there. We're going to stop really 5, 6, 7,000, thousands of people a week from being killed. And President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much. And we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. No. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. No. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And also, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. President and our Chinese friends for their hospitality, for organizing our trilateral summit. We have not met in a format like this for a long time, and this summit is carried out at the initiative of the Chinese side. And I would like to emphasize that Russia is eager to develop trilateral, mutually beneficial, multidimensional relations with the People's Republic of China and with Mongolia. And we deem it important to mark that successful bilateral cooperation was complemented and received new dimensions via this trilateral format, which is only natural because our three countries share a lot of common things. We share the interest in developing political, economic, and humanitarian ties between our countries. And most importantly, Russia, China, and Mongolia are good neighbors, and our peoples are united by long-standing traditions of friendship and mutual support. I'm certain that our today's conversation is going to be open and substantive, as usual, and we are going to discuss the main areas of our trilateral cooperation, and we will discuss plans for the short-term and mid-term. Thank you. Your Excellency, trilateral cooperation, and we will discuss plans for the short-term and mid-term. Thank you. Your Excellency, President Xi, my dear friend, both myself and the entire Russian delegation, we are glad to have this chance to meet again our Chinese friends, our Chinese counterparts. We are grateful for the warm welcome extended to our delegation. Our close communication reflects the strategic nature of the Russian-Chinese cooperation that is at the unprecedentedly high level, which was demonstrated during your official visit to Russia in May and our joint participation in the festive events to commemorate the victory in Great Patriotic War. And tomorrow in Beijing there are going to be festive events to celebrate the victory over Japan in the end of World War II, and we are going to attend these events together.
Female android from Shanghai Qingbao engine robot. Its realistic and futuristic design really turned heads at the conference this year. The company, only 3 years old, claims to specialize in key technologies such as cloud-based brains, servo drives, motion control, autonomous navigation systems, facial and micro-expression recognition, as well as communication powered by large language models. Qingbao robots are already actively used in airports, shopping malls, universities, hospitals, and hotels. Perhaps the most fascinating industry where Qingbao has succeeded is live streaming product sales, something that is incredibly popular in China today. Kind of like Shopping Channel, but with a robot and online. In fact, digital personas and robots often outsell human presenters. But wait, there's more. Some of the company's robots are actually being used as monks in temples in India, tirelessly delivering sermons. What's next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Digital China technology once again wowed the audience with humanoid robots that looked almost alive. Realistic faces, facial expressions, movements, everything came together to create the impression that you weren't looking at a machine, but a person who could smile, make eye contact, and even dance. Although the company officially states that its mission is artificial intelligence for everyone, what really makes Digital China stand out today is its ability to create robots with a quote-unquote human face. The company's portfolio, though, is versatile. It has humanoids designed for services and public events, for example, the Xiaolon SO1 and SO2 series. These robots feature bionic facial expressions with multimodal perception, meaning they can see, hear, and process information almost like a human. In theory, they're capable of walking and picking up objects via remote control, although for some reason, the company has not demonstrated that so far. Another series of robots is called IP, and here the advertised capabilities include walking, dancing, responding to voice and gestures, showing emotions, and grasping objects. But in reality, each robot is customized for individual clients, which means you only get the functions you actually pay for. All of the company's robots support live interaction. And yes, like many manufacturers in China, Digital China Technology already has its own production facilities. And again, like many, they keep production volumes and pricing details close to their chest.
We have arrived at Diamond Robotics, this company from Shenzhen that specializes in tactile sensors for robots and more.
Diamond Robotics focused on something critical yet often overlooked: tactile sensors. Take the DM-TAC-W. It's a camera-based system with a stunning resolution of up to 40,000 sensors per 1/10 of a square inch or a square centimeter. It detects texture, shape, friction, and pressure in real time, surpassing even the sensitivity of a human finger and industrial-grade alternatives.
This is our vision-based this tactile sensor. Its principle is you have a silicon surface and you have a small camera inside to watch the silicon surface. When you contact objects, the silicon deforms, and this deformation can be captured by the camera. So that's how you can get the tactile feedback.
There is also the DM Hand 1, a lightweight manipulator with built-in tactile sensing that adjusts grip strength automatically. Minimalist design, flexible and precise, makes perfect for handling delicate parts.